Let's go. What's up, bro? We got a podcast in the metaverse, bro.
Yeah. Who knew that this is what it was all building up to through the entire first season, and now we are here kicking off season 2 with all of you guys, a live studio audience.
Let's go. Every Tuesday.
A podcast. We didn't even know what was happening. We were 15 episodes into this.
It seems to be helping and impacting a lot of people. We'll see you every Tuesday on the Well Metaverse podcast. Peace.
Easy. I don't know why I chuck deuces. Like I don't chuck deuces. What was that?
Classic, man. That's gonna be a classic.
I'm just kidding.
At first, I was like, he's jabbing. Then I was like, oh, no, he's not.
That was just a little replay of our preliminary warm-up. Yeah, man. Sturm.
We're doing great. I'm doing great. Getting over a monster weekend, man.
Yeah, what was up this weekend?
Oh, dude. So I did 2 events here at our church, man. 2 phenomenal, overwhelming events. So we did a family reunion. Just, things are growing, new people coming part of the family. And so let's just get to know each other. Let's have an event, a family reunion. And then the next day, you never realize how older people feel forgotten. And so we have, quite a few people in the family who just are at an elderly age, still solid in their mind, but just physically can't come. So we did this thing, I call it Christian caroling, where we take the church to the church. So we just took some people, like 30 people, and went to people's homes, man, and just sung some songs, dude.
Man, first off, I love that phrase, take the church to the church.
Yeah.
Because that really speaks to, what a church is. It's the people.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. And I bet it was well received.
Freaking emotional, bro. Oh, yeah. Dude, the first house we showed up. So I said, okay, y'all, here's the thing. When you visit people who are sick, you don't want to stay for a long time. And you don't want to kind of overextend yourself or overexert yourself. So we're going to stay outside and we're going to sing. So 30 people show up. Got guitar stars playing. The husband comes to the door like, y'all come on in.
30 people?
30 people, bro. And he was like, look, I got to get my wife ready because she's in hospice. Dude. We were sitting in the living room quiet. And then he said, what's that noise? Good Star starts playing, and we're all in their living room. And 30 people start singing, bro.
Yeah.
Man, and she walked out in her walker. And as she walked out, dude, her face was just beaming, man. Just smiling. Dude, I just started crying, bro. I just like, and she sat down and she was grinning so hard, started singing, looking at people, lifting up her hands. Dude, I was done.
Wow. Man, that sounds like I got goosebumps.
Dude.
Like, yeah, that's a great experience. Wow. Thanks for sharing that with us right off the bat.
Yeah. Well, Sturm asked what are we doing? How we doing? So yeah, how are you, buddy?
Well, I haven't blessed any elderly friends,
Right. What you do this weekend?
Oh man. Actually, this has been an exciting time. Well, here, look, Kimberly Ann says, "What's this I'm hearing about videos?" And yeah, that's been my focus, and man, I know I talk about these guys all the
Right.
time, but Inspire, oh yeah, Tom, yes, there are videos in Horizon, and due to a collaboration that we got going, we're going to get to display a video in the Soapstone on Thursday.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So, dude, like now that makes like I want to see an elderly person. You impacting the world. Like I was hanging out in France, and yeah,
It is wild. We're starting to look ahead to Christmas and the holiday season and stuff, and we've got a diverse group of folks and a diverse group of communities that hang out in the Soapstone, and so to start thinking about how do we allow the French speaking community to celebrate Christmas, the Spanish speaking community, the people that celebrate Christmas to celebrate Christmas, the people that celebrate other holidays to celebrate other holidays. How do we do this without stepping on people, and we got some good ideas, good plans.
you just gave
For
me another
me,
idea in the soapstone. I'll talk to you about it later. This
all
should be
right, all
phenomenal
right.
on Christmas time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so I mean it's funny. It feels like Christmas is like right on top of us, which I guess it
Yeah,
is. It's only like what, 40 days away? Is that?
that's insane, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is just 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it. It's all happening fast.
Is Thanksgiving on a Wednesday or Thursday or Friday this
I
year?
think they're going to do it on a Thursday this year,
Yeah,
if
okay.
I'm remembering right. Yeah. That's
How old were you when you realized that Thanksgiving was the third Thursday?
I was today years old. No. Yeah. I'll tell you, my favorite Thanksgiving was actually the day that my son was born. And
Wow.
yeah, my wife was in school, I was in school, and she planned it out perfectly to where we got
Middle
done with
school or high school?
classes. College,
Oh, okay.
middle. You said middle school, or we were betrothed in late elementary, and then and then stuff started getting real,
Yeah.
early middle school. Yeah, but we got done with classes, and then she ends up going into labor, and went in, and on Thanksgiving Day, my son was born, and my wife turns and looks at me and says, "Turn the Lions on." and and I was like, all right. And we turned the Lions on just in time to see Barry Sanders break a great run,
Oh,
and then lose horribly. But
but dude, the nostalgia of thinking about watching Barry Sanders run.
Man, still on my Facebook feed, like every once in a while, some clips of Barry, like it's like I don't even know.
Yeah,
You know, a-
absolutely.
and it was great to watch him run, but it was even better to hear people talk about him running.
Yeah.
Like you get somebody in the open field trying to make a tackle on Barry, they're like, this is the hardest thing in the world. Like there's nothing more terrifying than that man moving at you, because you're gonna end up on your back,
Absolutely.
like looking real silly. You're gonna make the highlight reel but for all the wrong reasons.
Indeed. Indeed. By the way, speaking of football, so my son had his first playoff game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how'd it go?
They got slaughtered. No, they what was the score? They lost like 42-3.
Yeah, that's not a close game.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
my
did
son
they
got
have
one
fun?
sack. Yeah. He got a sack, made a few tackles.
All right, all right. Good stuff.
That's how you know when it's a bad game, when you start calling on individual efforts. Oh, he did great. He did
Yeah,
great.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. That's not. Yeah,
When you start talking about, just really emphasizing character. Like, man, my son,
That's right. Yeah.
just a phenomenal leader, man. I'm just
Yeah,
so proud
man.
of you,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, yeah, that means your son sucks. That's
Yep. I'm with you. Yeah. Yeah, it was a team effort. We all came out to play. Like that's the kind of talk after a win.
right.
Like,
The way that they kept encouraging each other, they held their heads up. Impressive, man.
yeah, yeah.
Real impressive.
Man, speaking of a win, here's a good transition. Speaking of a win, again, like this morning I did the final preview walkthrough of this video that we're gonna play on Thursday. And it's so good. These
First of all,
folks at Inspire, oh man, like just crushed it. And like Elliot Elwood, he's our guest today. He's
yeah,
backstage right now. That's why we're so framed in, right? Because in the
right.
preliminary, he's like, yeah, you got to come up a little bit.
Right.
this,
Like,
this is the best we've ever looked.
you know what, JC, you need a little bit of light on your face. Aaron, you need to cover your face.
Yeah. It's That's right. That's right.
But just before we bring them on, let's just speak to um s- people being excellent in their craft.
Yeah, exactly. That I mean, it's excellence.
Yeah,
It's passion. It's being concerned about the people and the experience. It's phenomenal. Like in the process, and we'll get into it with Elwood, but the creative process of the creating the video, it was all about what the people are going to experience watching it.
right.
It wasn't about showcasing this technique or that technique. It was about what are the people going to experience when they watch it. And then to take, and I got to, so then, you know, we got the video ready to kind of preview. And then it comes to the scripting that,
Yeah.
okay, now we got to prep the world so that the experience for the people is phenomenal, you know. And what does that mean? That means people can't be jumping on stage during the
Right.
video. That means that you know, we've got to move the video into place. We got to do all these behind the scenes stuff. And to see like last night at 1:00 in the morning, John McClay,
Clayster.
yeah, and Ace the bass are in there just working at it, troubleshooting it, and getting it fine tuned so that experience is great. Man, love
Yeah,
these
and
guys.
and you look at all those individuals that you've named, the team, just Inspire Create Labs. It's excellence in craftsmanship and a care for what they do and for other people. It's like what Sensei Jay said is all the time. Like, man, I work with anybody, but I don't work with jerks.
That isn't quite word for word.
Right, right. But just the idea of, man, when you see Elwood, I mean, when you listen to him, I mean, the way that he even coaches people, the way that he, helps people adjustment, like
Yeah.
he has this such care for people and concern for humans, and who you are in real life is magnified in the metaverse, man. And you just see this dude, his skills, his gifts.
Speaking of which, what do you say we bring them out?
Let's bring them out.
All right,
Elwood,
everybody.
Elwood,
Yeah, give a big
Elwood.
round of applause to Elwood. Yeah. What's up, man?
Let's
How's it
go.
going, guys? Thank you so much for all that awesome talk up. That was great.
Hey, in all seriousness, man, from the planning to the video shoots to the editing and review process to actually carrying it across the finish line and having it ready to publish, the entire thing. I mean, you've been an absolute pro to work with. Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I've always enjoyed my experience working with you. I think that you were like maybe one of the first people that I've ever met when I came into the metaverse, and here we are a couple years later. I'm glad to be here.
You actually are somebody that comes to mind often in the metaverse, because people will come in and say, "Hey, how do you build in the metaverse?" Or they'll come in and they'll be discouraged. They'll be like, "Man, this is so hard. I can't do it." And you're the example that comes to mind, because I remember you showed me a world that you were working on. and I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't good. You know,
We all knew at one point, you know what I mean?
yeah, it wasn't what I would call publish ready. You know? And then I swear it was like it might have been 2 weeks later. You're like, hey, can you come take another look at this? And I did. And what it was based on a cartoon. What was the
Well, I think at that time it was the Pride Rock World that was working.
oh, I think it was even before that, but
Arnold?
it was Arnold. It was Hey Arnold. That's what it was.
Arnold.
And I came in and I'm like, this is some of the best building that I've seen in Horizon Worlds.
Yeah.
And like you made that curve so quickly. That was
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, you know, back in those days, me and another partner of mine were working together a lot. So the collaboration, and you know, I mean, in Horizon World, it always comes back to collaboration. I mean, the collaboration between people is kind of what makes people accelerate. So Nick McMillan, shout out to Nick McMillan. He was my building partner back in those days, and yeah, he certainly brought a lot of creativity into our builds. And yeah, so yeah, it was a cool experience to. I think a lot of people were starting right around that time, so it was cool to see a lot of people go from that point to where they are now. Is an awesome transformation.
For sure.
Let me ask you this real quick before we go deeper. It's so looking at where you were as a builder when you first came in, where you are now, where your the squad of individuals who came in along with you. What about the person who's now becoming more intrigued about the metaverse, just new to it? You think they can? Do you think they can get to the point where you are now, or do you think it's gonna has that ship left?
No, it hasn't. I mean, I think that Horizon Worlds is changing.
I thought you were going to say no, they cannot.
No, nobody can.
Can't get on my level. I'm him, son.
No, that's not what I mean. No, I think that Horizon Worlds is changing so quickly and so often that somebody could come in and kind of catch on. I think now it's getting more difficult, but I still think that the world is completely open for anybody to come in and make their mark as long as they're willing to figure out the culture of Horizon Worlds and figure out what it is that people are drawn to. And what makes a world successful and what makes a build successful. I think that if they kind of latch onto those concepts and those ideas, then I mean, the world's their oyster. They can do it. And I think that's what I love about Horizon Worlds, that it's, like I said, it's getting a little bit more complicated now, but I think that it's still a space for anybody to come in and build whatever they have in their imagination.
Yeah. Yeah, we're very much in the early opportunity days in Horizon Worlds. Yeah, now's the time for people to come in and learn, connect with people, and get their feet planted. Speaking of the culture of Horizon Worlds, here's some people throwing some props out to you, man. Elwood is amazing. He is so awesome to work with. Mama Bray, thank you for sharing that. Our very own Lolly D backstage doing the producing says the video preview looked amazing. And getting things done. I do a ton of editing and video work. Yeah. Elwood is legit. So props to you.
So are they.
Yeah. And then, Hardy West.
What up there, boy?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've talked to him too. I feel like when I first started, he was getting going with his club, and it's looking fantastic now. It's crazy.
Tell you what, Hardy West is probably the best example of somebody with a humble, teachable spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he approaches something in Horizon World, and this is funny because initially he was trying to accomplish some really ambitious things.
Oh, yeah.
And some people didn't really know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
And and like I mean there was some conflict, but I'll tell you what, Jason and I have connected with him, and had some great conversations. And this dude comes in and he's like we're going to put all ego aside and we're going to just talk about what works. And
I just feel like people weren't ready for those concepts in the metaverse at that time, but I think that everybody was thinking the same thing that he was.
He was just doing.
Yeah, he was just the one that was doing it. So props to Hardy for sure.
Indeed,
Hardy
indeed.
is the man. It's
Yeah.
just
Plus,
it's cool to see just the like man like the cool brother that he is. Like he's a you remember in high school where you had some people who were just straight up cool that everybody just wanted to be around, and that person just brings everybody in together. It's kind of like, yo, come on in. That to me, that's who Hardy is, and that's what his worlds represent. And like everybody, come on here. This you got a
yeah.
place.
And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, he's diving into the whole tri-mesh idea, and yeah, like again, like I mean, he's not shy about going after it and getting it. Like he, you
It
know,
looks great. Yeah. I love that ambition and just that drive to keep going and wanting more and wanting the best. It's great. I think
yeah.
yeah, it's good.
Mama Bray, I really admire all of you guys and all that you do in the metaverse. Right back at you, my friend. Super engaged with the video stuff that she does, and of course her role in the Soapstone. A very engaged, regular, well metaverster. Is that what we are? Are we well metaversters?
I feel like I see her literally
My
every time
man, Bray.
she's around.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Hardy says
I
thank you,
got a
guys.
question for you, Elwood. So, like, looking at your the level of excellence that you bring to the metaverse, what is it that like who is Elwood outside the metaverse before we got to experience this guy? Like, what is it that helped make you who you are outside the metaverse?
Yeah, sure. So I come from a film background, so I am involved in
That
the
makes
film.
so much sense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah. So I film and video production. So I spend a lot of my time on TV shows and movies in the lighting department. And there it's pretty much a strict, not strict, but I mean, like you're working with the best of the best in the industry. So there's a standard there and you have to meet a standard or else you're not going to get a call back the next day because there's a line of 100 people that want to be there. So it's just like, I just feel like that's kind of has leaked over into my metaverse work where it's just like, it just needs to be the best. Like, and I understand that we're going to fall short. I understand that we're not going to be able to make it the best, but I just want everybody to give 100% when they're there. So, yeah, I think that training of video and film production has kind of definitely leaked over to what I do here.
I knew it, dude. I knew it. I was like, this dude is too good. Not for just to come up and just
Yeah,
start doing. Yeah,
I spent years as a commercial DP shooting like corporate and commercial stuff for local Pittsburgh ads, and I guess that's where I'm based out of is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But I've worked on some larger documentary stuff doing DP work, and then French shorts and all the film festival stuff. Of course, I do a lot of that stuff too. But yeah, so that's that. I've taken those skills of cinematography and trying to incorporate them into all the video stuff that we do in Horizon. And I feel like it's working, and I feel super like privileged and honored to be able to try to like set the standard here too. I know there's a lot of other really awesome videographers in Horizon World that do really great work, and we're all kind of setting the standard of what that video landscape looks like in Horizon Worlds, and it feels awesome to be here with you guys, working it out together.
indeed.
Yeah.
Have you ever played Jesus or just Bible character in a movie?
I haven't, but
But you're open to it. Yeah, it's funny because Sensei Jay, of course, is our lead videographer in the Soapstone, a phenomenal friend, and just a wildly talented
Indeed.
video guy. And at one point when we were kicking off this project, and I'm talking with Sensei Jay, and he's like, "Man, of the powerhouse video folks in Horizon Worlds, you got us both on your team." And I'm like, yeah, this is cool. This is
But it's
cool.
not to say there are some people out there that haven't even reached the surface yet. I feel like opening up the doors to Trimesh has like really kind of broadened the horizons of
Hey-o.
yeah,
Ka-ching.
of video content production in general. I mean, there's so much that can be done inside of these 3D animation programs that can, elevate people's video content. I feel like
Sure.
there's going to be a huge boom of people coming out here doing a bunch of new stuff soon, which
Yeah.
I'm super excited to watch.
Yeah. Well, and of course the avatars have recently got a huge upgrade with legs. I'm certain that there's more coming. Like their end vision, like none of us have even a crystal clear vision of what the end is going to be, but I bet it's going to be awfully real.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, and when you get to that level where environments can be potentially photorealistic, avatars can potentially be photorealistic. It's like, wow, look at what you can do.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, it's really exciting to just, be a part of it a couple years ago and see where it's come now, and then kind of envision where it's going to go in 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. That's
Right.
that's 3 decades away in
Right.
metaverse
In
years.
metaverse time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, man, sometimes when people fall on a little hard times, like, hey, man, just wait till I get back on my feet. Well, now in the metaverse, we got on our feet.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
So Elwood, how'd you end up tied in with the folks at Inspire?
Well, along with Aaron, one of the other first people that I met in Horizon World was Matthias, and Matthias is the CEO of Inspire. And I heard rumblings of there was a company in the metaverse who was actually doing it for real, like building for clients. And having my commercial background, I was really interested in trying to work with some commercial clients and not so much just random users or people. My goal was to try to work with some bigger clients. So I kind of buddied up with them and helped with a lot of their projects and offered support as much as I could, and was an ally, and just weaseled my way in, if I'm being honest with you. We did a music video a year or two back before I was a member of Inspire, the Blessed music video through Warner
That's
Music.
right.
And that really kind of set us into a different category in Meta's eyes and everybody else's eyes. So I think that kind of won me over and inspires. I was like, yeah, why don't you come over here and help us out on this end? So I've loved being a part of Inspire so far, and we got a couple exciting things coming up, and working on in Soapstone is an ever-present thing in our lives, which we're totally proud and grateful for. So that's kind of how I got involved with Inspire.
Good stuff. Well, man, you said a bunch of really cool things there, and a couple funny ones too. But you said you came in and you helped. You came in and like you got involved before the job came around. You got involved before the financial opportunity, and I think that's the key in the metaverse. The people that I'm seeing that are excelling, they're adding value first, and then letting the compensation wagon kind of catch up with that. And it makes a big difference. That's what's building the platform.
I learned
The video you did for Matthias on his frisbee golf.
All three of us want to talk. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Kimberly. Thank you very much. Jason, what were you going to say?
That's the secret language of the metaverse is helping collaboration. It's not what can you get out of it. It's what you can give and how you can help other people, and that in its authentic sense. Because I know when I sense that someone's just trying to get something, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm a little standoffish, but
it's going to turn people off right away if you come in here and start talking about money and start talking about making money and starting a business and all this stuff. Because I think that people can tell like a real one and a fake person. Like, you know what I mean? Like this person is just trying to come in here, trying to grab and trying to do this. But I feel like somebody can tell like this person's genuine. He's interested in the metaverse. He's interested in the space. He has a vision for where they think that they can take it or where it could go. That's achievable. So I want to know more about that person, be around that person a little bit more. I think I learned early on that people get turned off quickly if you're coming in here and be like, hey, how do we make money? It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, everybody wants to know how we make money. What are you bringing to us that we can build this thing together? You know?
Yep. It's
Well,
kind of like I'll add to old cliches. Like people don't care how much you know or how much what you gonna make until they know that you care.
yeah,
Hmm.
Yep.
yeah.
You got to show that
Actually,
you
this
care.
ties in with Free Indeed. He says if someone wants to get into the metaverse field, what sort of college courses should they take? Asking for a friend, winky eyes. So, Elwood, I mean, one of the, I mean, the two core things that or the two core ways that you add value in the metaverse is one, just who you are, your character, and those things that we talked about, and then two, your experience as a videographer, your experience in that. So, what college course or what course do you take to get into the metaverse? I'd say any course. Just figure out how to do what you're best at in the metaverse, as opposed to figuring out what do I need to become the best at in order to do in the metaverse.
Part of me feels like what drew me to the metaverse is that it could mimic real life in some sense, where it's just like if you have a skill, you could bring that in, you could find a way to bring it into the metaverse in some way that could benefit somebody else in some way. So for me, it was visual arts of some sorts, whether it be video production or 3D animation, something like that, some visual part of it. But for other people, it could be something different. It could be starting a business. You might maybe want to go and do some business courses and figure out how money works and how do I translate that into this idea and sync up with this creative person. Some people aren't creative. I think that it's about finding what you truly want to be and who you really are, and then figuring out how that translate into what can happen inside the metaverse. Because if you're not attached to it, and if it's not who you are, then it's not going to matter in the metaverse, because people, like I said, are going to sniff you out like he's phony, he doesn't really care about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you were going to go take college courses and you were focusing on the visual aspect of this, a video production course or a program is definitely good. I wouldn't say that you could just do metaverse stuff. There's all kinds of video stuff that you can do. But also, if you wanted to start building in the metaverse and you wanted to get an education about what that's like, some sort of video game design would probably be your best bet right now to figure out how to build in a 3D space, what makes a video game interesting and attractive and retentive and successful would probably be very helpful for you to know. And I'm sure we could figure out other things, but I think that's like kind of right off the top of my head what I would say.
If I may add, just Free Indeed, the question ultimately is, who are you? What
Mm.
is it that your heart's desire is to do and to be? And focus on that, and then step into and then begin to explore what it is that you bring to the metaverse. Because the metaverse is like the world. There you can find builders come a dime a dozen. Hosts come a dime a dozen. But what is it that makes you uniquely you? And what is it that your heart is drawing you to do, to be? I look at Aaron. Aaron has an MBA, and just his ability to lead, to organize, and to administrate. That's what makes him great in the metaverse. You heard us before Elwood came in and talked. You heard us talking about his ability just to be, to do things with excellence, and just the way that he treats people. That's who he was before he came to the metaverse, and who you are when you get in the metaverse, who you are is magnified. So if you don't necessarily know who you are in real life or what you want to do, when you get in the metaverse, that's going to be magnified, and then you'll find yourself just running around like a chicken with your head cut off. And so and I don't mean that negatively, but it's just, man, just understand who it is that you are. My uncle always said, God didn't give everybody everything; He gave everybody something. And so, what is it that you add to a group of people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lolly's backstage producing for us. I'd like to get her take on this, because she's had her own type of success in the metaverse, and I'd like to know what it is that that prepped you, Lolly, for success in the metaverse.
You know what I think it is for me and a lot of people is the collaborating part, meeting people, listening to them. Elwood's absolutely right. When someone has a genuine passion for something, it's so obvious, right? Versus I'm just in here trying to, I just want to be famous. I just want whatever their goal is. But when you meet all these people and you have these heart to heart conversations about what their passion is in here, and then even if it involves you or doesn't, and you can connect them up with other people and they just make great things together, it's that abundance mentality you keep talking about, Aaron. That's it. We all are looking for that same greatness in Horizon Worlds, and we're finding it. That those people wanting to make it great for everybody are all finding each other, and it's wonderful. I love it.
Indeed. Thanks, Lolly. Getting things done says being genuine and authentic is a true life hack. Yeah.
Can I speak to that real quick
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
Just man, my dad told me this when I was in college, and he saw me not being authentic at one point. And he said this, he said, Jason, people want to love you for who you are. And people want to love you. And when you're not yourself and authentically you make it impossible for people to love you because you're giving them somebody else to love.
Mm. That is deep stuff.
Yeah.
I remember in an early episode you shared that.
Yeah.
An early episode of this whole adventure, you shared that, and I thought, that's
Yeah, it speaks a lot. I mean, it's hard to figure out who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To like truly know that. I think people say that they actually know, but I think that we all struggle with our identity at some point, especially as we get older. It's just like, hey, things are changing in my life. Like, what's going on, and who am I, and all this stuff. So, yeah, it's not an easy task to figure that stuff out. So,
in the world of comedians, we call it finding your voice. And typically, I mean, from everybody that I've talked to, like they figure you got to be doing comedy for about 7 years before you'll find your voice. The same is true with any field, anything. Like before you figure out authentically who you are and what your perspective is and how you're gonna be an individual, it takes time. So it's also okay to be patient in that process and say, you know what, I'm doing this, and it's okay if I'm not lighting the world on fire yet, because it's going to take some time to find that voice and find that way to authentically and individually add value.
You know what? Two little mice fell into a bucket of cream, and one instantly gave up and drowned. The other one didn't quit.
that's deep. So, like, the cream is our. No, that's deep.
And then immediately died from diabetes.
I like this would be a good time to say something
Cream is
stupid.
life,
Right
but the bucket is
Cream is life. Yeah. Oh man,
that's great. Thanks, Mama Ray.
Mama Bray. Oh, I think this is about that mouse story. Let's see.
I think so.
Being involved in the community is so important. Listening to the people is key. That you're right on there.
Absolutely.
Man, we've been so this. I mean, I hate to pivot away from the mouse thing.
I wanted to dive deeper, but let's save it for another podcast.
Hey, oh, there it is. There it is.
There
You
it
found
is.
your voice, sir. But yeah, in this, we've just revamped the entire economy of the way things work in the Soapstone. We introduced these systems to where people can sign up to be a host, people could sign up to be a producer, in addition to that, in addition to performing. So now people can advance and earn applause credits by doing the different things. And it's hard to balance out an economy and figure out how many credits should people get for this and that and the other thing. And what Mama Bray says, listening to the people, it's watching people, it's asking them and saying, hey, are you getting enough for this? Are you getting too much or getting just enough? It's, Yeah, listening to the people is important. All right, Free Indeed says the other one swam until the cream evaporated. Question mark. Yeah.
That mouse would have died long.
And
No, and then he kept asking why did you allow me to fall into this cream? And then he realized once he was out that he had big calf muscles.
And then Mouse God
Did
was
you
like, I sent a helicopter to save you. I sent a rowboat to save you.
So if this was a strong, healthy mouse, what was wrong with the first one that died immediately?
Yeah, just a loser. Yeah, don't be a loser. Don't drown in cream.
Yeah, don't try
Needs
to cream.
background on this
drink
story, this sermon, before I really put some stock into it.
The other one just climbed on the other one's back. Duh.
Liverby says, 10,000 credits might have been a bit too much. Yeah, so we had a couple people that won the lottery in there because we had some things set up for testing, and up in the producer booth, we had it, or actually across the board, we had them set up so every time somebody would applaud once, you'd get 100 points towards achieving that goal instead of 1 point towards achieving that goal. Well, we switched and reverted everything back except for the producer booth. That didn't get changed back. So there were a couple folks that ended up going up into the producer booth and then rolling out and checking their credits, and they had 10,000 credits.
balling.
Balling. Yep, that's right. And here's the thing, though. What happens when people are balling? What happens when people get a bunch of credits? They award people credits. Like it's not a bad thing for people to get a lot, but at the same time, you don't want people to have so many that it loses value. Because anything that somebody's getting for free isn't worth working for.
Like a bunch of cream in a bucket.
Like if two mice fell into a bucket of cream, and they would say,
Right. It's good.
That's that. Yeah. I'm gonna have that. Get that tattooed on my shoulder. I think two mice fell into a bucket of cream, and and then whatever.
Don't even say. Use a picture. Just use the bucket with cream. One dead floating mouse.
one dead. Yeah. For some reason, it makes it worse that the dead mouse is floating. Like I was okay with it when he just sunk to the bottom, but
and who has a bucket of cream just sitting around the house?
It's yeah.
Farmers.
What year is this?
Somebody who has mice, because clearly the mice know. They're gonna have some food.
Yeah, I got an idea. Don't leave buckets of cream out, and then maybe you won't have that mouse problem.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Kimberly Ann says, use those credits on me while I host trivia tonight.
Let's go. I like that segue.
Tell you what, another thing that's been happening that's been awesome is we're seeing more and more people stepping up and hosting in different ways. For story time, typically that's always a one instance event. And on Sunday night, we had double the amount of people come in. And Mayhem and a couple other people just got together in the overflow instance, and they're like, "Hey, we've seen this show enough times. We can do this." And they just jumped up and did their own show. Kimberly Ann, of course, her role in Soapstone Junior is huge, but she stepped in on other shows and just stepped up and crushed it. And I love seeing people step into the spotlight and shine.
It's not easy to do.
It's easier than people make it out to be. I mean, it takes a special person to do it, but when that special person steps up to do it, it comes a lot more naturally, especially in the Soapstone, especially in an event instance, because you've got a group of people that want to see you succeed. So when you get up and you step into that role of hosting, or you step into that role of producing, people find their groove a lot quicker and easier than we build it up in our mind. Go ahead, Jay.
In real life, when you guys perform comedy, there are audiences that don't want you to succeed. They're waiting for you to fail.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Look, you from the Northeast, man. Yeah.
That's true. A lot of
But
angry people out there.
yeah, but the reality is, like in the comedy club, what it takes, to go from doing comedy for the first time to be able to host a comedy event, a comedy show on Friday, Saturday, Sunday night takes an enormous amount of work. And most won't ever be able to do that. What's amazing about the metaverse is, man, you show yourself consistent, and it's out like, man, you can. We're looking for opportunities like to push people towards the front, and so that's the beauty of what the metaverse does. The confidence that it takes to host a comedy club in the Northeast, man, is a lot different than what it takes to host a show in the metaverse. But also, you have a lot of people supporting.
Sorry. I've been to a couple shows out here in Pittsburgh, and I haven't gone to the Improv, but like underground places, and like they'll just put them in like a bar where people don't know there's a comedy show going on,
Yeah.
and it's just like terrible. People will like just heckle like them to death.
Heckle the show. Heckle the show.
Yeah, the show, because they didn't realize that there was going to be comedy that night. So it's just like, man, like you got to try harder. You can't just stick people telling jokes in the middle of a bar and expect people to laugh. I guess I don't know.
Dude, what's worse is at a coffee spot where they do, like, hey, let me take like talking. Who's ordering the doggone frappuccinos?
So it's really funny. So a couple of years back, actually, Jason was the president of the Christian Comedy Association, and he and his team hosted a bunch of Christian comedians that came down to the Dallas, Texas area, and got together for a conference to connect with each other, spend time together, but also to sharpen the craft of comedy. And what Jason and his team did is they went around to a bunch of area businesses and said, listen, we want to just bring in comedians and do open mics in here. And these are people that make their living touring around doing church shows and I mean, really kind of audience friendly shows. That everybody that's there is there to see them, and they've been waiting for this and all this, and to have them and plug them into these open mic experiences where people are sitting down having dinner, not knowing who they are, and have like it was cool. And it was cool to see some people like thrive through it and just bring it, and then other people like, I don't like this at all.
Yeah, but that's tough too. You get just thrown into that position sometimes, and you get thrown to the wolves, and you probably know you're going to bomb, but you still go out there anyway, right? I mean,
and that's what makes you strong.
What makes a pro comedian is somebody who's able to bomb gracefully.
Yeah.
Like get up there and have it not go well and thrive through it.
I don't know if I'm cut from that cloth. I feel like I would just take too much of an ego hit and be like, I don't know if I'm going to do that again.
It takes a certain amount of denial. Like you got to be able to step off stage and be like, no, it wasn't me. It was all of them. They're all wrong.
Or it'll make you question your entire existence. Like, why am I even here? What am I doing?
Those are big questions just for a comedy night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why many people quit. Like, you know what? I'm not cut out for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the chance, I mean, we could talk about comedy if you want. Just like also like the chances of success are so nimble, right? Like so small for being a successful comedian. It takes a strong person to kind of push through all of that.
Yeah. It takes a strong person. And it takes a broken person.
Well, I do what I do. I mean, you don't see me sit in a mansion. I struggle because I love what I do. You know?
I don't know. You got some pretty nice guitars on the wall there, though.
I don't think any of them were really relatively expensive, though.
Nice. Yeah, man. Golly, this is one of the things that I just really love about this show. We get together to talk about video. And what do we end up talking about? We end up talking about the perseverance that it takes to be able to push through those barriers, those hesitance, those blockers that stop us. We end up talking about mice in cream.
Mice and men, you know.
Yeah, that's
That's
so
oh,
good.
what's the dude's name?
I think it was Lenny who had
Lenny. Oh yeah, it was Lenny.
the guy who like
Yeah.
killed the rabbit in his pocket.
Yeah.
You know about the rabbit?
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. Well, it's
I
like
hadn't
what are you
I
gonna
hadn't finished my reading comprehension remedial classes
do?
after we read that of Mice of Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
re- I read of Men and Mice. I don't.
Oh, that's the other one.
The knockoff version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other one.
Yeah. O'Connor's got our back. He says,
Yeah.
Lenny.
Yeah. Lenny, thank you.
I read from mice to moose.
That's a big mouse.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey Lolly, let's bring you out and maybe talk about what's coming up.
Lolly.
Lolly.
Hey, okay. Well, it's a great week. I mean, it's always a great week at the Soapstone, but man, this week is super special. We've got Bob Smiley. We've got this great video, and you guys know how I feel about Bob Smiley. He's one of my absolute favorite people. But Elwood, kudos to you for this video you've been working on. I had no idea you were a professional videographer, and it makes so much sense now. I mean, it is just tremendous. And Sensei Jay is correct that we have two of the absolute very best working on our stuff here at the Soapstone. In fact, Sensei Jay and I just filmed another little Soapstone on the street this morning,
Yeah. I love
featuring
those clips.
an assault that we had in the courtyard of the Soapstone.
Ooh.
It's breaking news. You'll be hearing about it soon. But it involves a certain chicken.
good.
That's all I can say at this point. There is an attorney. I don't know how it's going to go, but anyway. So yeah, we got fun stuff going on all over. This week, Thursday, is when we're going to have this video be released, and it's going to be brand new, exciting, fun stuff for us there. Tomorrow,
What time Thursday?
it is all different times, 9
So-
p.m. right in
Okay.
all the time zones. Right?
Yeah. So what our idea there was to have it a 9 p.m. show in the three primary time zones. So it's 9 p.m. in British Standard Time, or British Daylight Time, I think it is now. But anyway, across the pond time, and then 9 p.m. Eastern Time and 9 p.m. Pacific Time. So in Eastern Time, that translates to 4 p.m., 9 p.m., and then midnight on Thursday.
Yeah, and so for Pacific time, if you're a daytime person like me, the British time ends up being 1 p.m. in the afternoon for us. So it's great for those of us who frequent the metaverse during the day. So it's all good. There's a time for everybody. So it's going to be great, and it'll be running in all instances, right? So I
Yeah,
understand
yep,
that too.
yep. It'll be in the event and in the open instances. And here's a little insider information that isn't published or promoted anywhere. But early in the morning Eastern Time at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we're actually going to do a complete run through of the show. Just to make sure that all our scripting is lining up and everything. It's kind of the final like full dress rehearsal. And that's like if people are on at 9 a.m. Eastern on Thursday, they can pop in and catch it at that time too. And there might be some of the behind the scenes folks that might be hanging out during that time as well.
All
Comedy
good
on the
stuff.
nines.
Yeah. Coming to you on the nines, traffic
Yep.
and comedy.
Two
So
months.
we're looking forward to this week for sure. Another great week in the Soapstone. So come hang out with us Thursday, everybody.
I vote
Yeah.
for the next scripting, the next rebuild of Soapstone. Not only have a chicken, but to have two mice running around.
Maybe a bucket of cream somewhere.
Cream barista.
There we go. We just go get some cream from behind the bar. Don't tell Don we're gonna steal that pumpkin spice.
Oh, and yeah, we're not. Yeah, we tried to take that pumpkin spice out one time. It's,
I know.
yeah, that's
It got ugly.
yeah. We had
really
to immediately put that back.
All right.
Oh, well, this has been a blast. Lolly, thank you so much for everything you do behind the scenes, producing and promoting. I said behind the scenes. She's like, I'm out. Yeah. Jason, of course, man, your support, your friendship, your strategy, your spiritual direction is just so important. And I appreciate you so much. Elwood, working on this project with you has been a pleasure. I cannot wait to see, and I cannot wait to announce the things that we likely have coming up for us. Next year is going to be a fun and exciting year. Everybody watching, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Hey,
Y'all
before
mean
you
the world.
cut,
Yeah.
Connor, message us, man. Message us so we can answer that question. We run out of time, so we can't get to it right now. But message us, and we'll get back with you.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
It's turned off the whole time.
You were
It's just like, oh, the comments are up here. Oh, look, there they all are. This video. Oh, I wish I could answer that. All right.
All
Next.
right.